future mother-in-law got me a You Are Badass like daily calendar, and I feel like today's is actually perfect for the team call. So it's a little long, bear with me, but here's what it says. When it comes to forming and transforming our human experience, the power of the mind reigns supreme over any type of external truths. If you believe money is evil and or difficult to make, your bank account will have tumbleweeds blowing through it. Strong religious beliefs inspire everything from wars to glorious houses of worship to cutthroat charity pie baking contests. The belief that you are hot and sexy will have you getting hit on by strangers on the street. And if you believe you're eating worms, you will gag. So, what I think of and how that relates to today is like what you believe going into your conversations with customers makes a really big difference. So keep that in mind as we go through the exercises today, because it is not just about doing the activities, as important as those are. Your mindset in the moments is equally as important as well. Anyways, my little Sandy Blue Donna moment.
So true. I'm still fighting for Success Club, which is normally not like me. And y'all, you just gotta believe in yourself because you guys are amazing. And it happens to me every time, when you like start doubting yourself and you're like, nobody's answering me, and you start getting frustrated. Guess what happens? You get more frustration, no answers. But if you go into your inbox and just think like, all right, I'm gonna come here with a different energy, a different effort, like I'm telling you, it happens. All right. Should we get into some recognition?
Yeah, we can go for it. I can start.
Yeah, go for it.
So Sarah you guys have already seen it on the hub page, but is popping Emerald tomorrow, locked in Success Club. And I just want to shout her out for like the small things too of going live in the hub, not once, but twice with the cutest affirmation video ever. And it's something as a reminder to all of us to just keep getting out of our comfort zones. So I'm really proud of her. And also everyone that showed up on the coach sneak peek last night, you guys, it was stacked house. The energy was amazing. I know there'll be some announcements about new coaches from that, but I just want to say like, thank you for believing in us when we came together for this a few months ago. This is exactly how we wanted to serve the community, and we're loving seeing it come through fruition and watching you guys grow as well through it.
So true. It's so much more fun when there's like more of us showing up to not just like learn and grow together, but like give that back to other women that want to join our team that just get our vibe. So I wanted to shout out, we have 2 new coaches on Team Glow Diggers this past week. Christine has been a discount coach for a while. You guys probably seen her post. She's like a firecracker, and she reminds me of Amanda Milano. Like, I don't know why. I'm just like, you guys are twinsies and you have the same vibe and you work out at the same time. So she is going to be diamond behind Amanda in no time. And then Emily will also watch this recording. She's a brand new coach from the coach sneak peek last night. So again, that's like Jess was saying, manifest your vision. I've been saying, Jess, I need new blood. I need new coaches on our team. And literally I was going to skip the coach sneak peek last night because I had a really bad day. And I just chose to show up. And it just goes to show like when you show up in those really hard times, like you just never know who's watching you and who needs to hear what you have to say. So super proud. And I see Noelle on here. I haven't seen her in a while. And she's been crushing Control Freak. And all of you guys have, because you're all doing it pretty much. So, all right. Who's next?
I'll go next. I'm gonna shout out Trish. She's on her first team call. We just had a coach mentoring call. And she is already, I think she's like starting phase 3 of 9-week Control Freak. She's ahead of the game, but she is crushing it and doing amazing.
Can you guys hear me? Okay. I'm at work, so I gotta do this real quick. But McKenna was on the coach info call last night and loved it. And so she is here tonight to kind of get a vibe for what our team is like to see if she really wants to go in on this with us. So welcome, McKenna.
All right. Any other recognition, guys? Emily, go for it.
I mean, this is a little out there. I'm getting out of my comfort zone. I'm gonna shout out Jess because she showed up for me. Like, I mean, I'm really slow to act, and like I have had like 20 different conversations today, which is like huge for me, and I wouldn't be there without Jess. So thank you.
Love that, girl. Upline's always got to hear good recognition.
I know, I'm like, I wasn't supposed to do this emotionally. Oh my God, you guys. Hormones too. Oh, thank you, Em.
Anyone else?
I'll just say, because I probably won't make it on the recording since it was in the chat, but Morgan said to shout out everyone who signed up for Team Cup, which can, if we are done, it will be a great lead into announcements. But I just want to double check. Anybody have anything else to shout out? Going once, going twice. All right, if it comes up, post it in the chat. We want to see it anyways. But I'll go ahead and just start that. And Danielle, me and you can go back and forth on announcements as we think of them. So Team Cup, you've seen us post about it in the hub. You've seen us talk about it in our chat. Guys, I don't know if it's not knowing what it is and thinking it's an extra responsibility to your coaching. This is an opportunity for growth. You're not doing anything more than just actually working your business with a small group, getting to know them well, and growing your business. Plus, you get the extra tools of $10 off coupons and all of that. If you are not signed up and you are working this business, you are making a mistake. So that's as clear as I can make it. We've got a fifth team that Violetta stepped out of her comfort zone, put herself down for the first name, and let's get this filled up by Friday. There's no reason we can't. We have enough coaches.
All right, the other announcement I want to share is, if you guys didn't see, they're launching a brand new version, 9-week Control Freak, on February 7th. So probably one of us should go live about this in the hub and kind of share a little bit more about it. But basically the gist of it is that it will be a new launch of the program, essentially, for people to do it in a format that's similar to 21 Day Fix. So it'll be literally just 5 workouts that are repeated 3 times for each phase that don't require any equipment. So this is really great for people that were skeptical to like pay more price for a challenge pack with 9-week Control Freak, but really love Autumn. This is a great option for people that travel and might like fumble over BS excuses of saying that they don't have room to put their door track. Y'all know what I mean. But this is essentially another opportunity for us to relaunch the program. And anyone who already bought 9-week Control Freak will get digital unlock for this as like a free perk on BOD, which is freaking incredible that they just continue to add stuff to our library that people don't have to wait for. And it's just a bonus they didn't expect. So hype it up, guys. Like, I'm kind of treating this program, I know some of my coaches have asked me, Noelle specifically, every Monday is like a new launch for me. So I'm thinking every Friday, all right, I'm going to follow up with the people that have been MIA. I'm going to follow up with the people that have said no. And if you start to get your mindset in that weekly mind for your business, Success Club will become easy, right? Because you're always knowing that, all right, I got to have at least one person starting every Monday. So that means I'm going to be inviting Monday through Friday. I'm going to be following up. I'm going to be connecting, and we're going to be talking about that tonight. But I think with us being so busy and full-time women, it's really easy to look at the month and say, I have all this time to hit a goal. And then you get to like the 20, whatever it is first, and you're like, So get yourself in the mindset of like those first, especially 2 weeks to push, and use Follow-Up Friday to have a Monday start. Did I miss anything with that?
One more announcement. So just a reminder, 3-day refresh is 10% off. I think that kind of gets brushed under the rug sometimes, but it's January and there's a reason and strategy behind why the company put that on discount this month. So many of us started the 9-week Control Freak test group with that, and can attest to how well it helped us just dial in our nutrition, give our body that reset off of whatever crappy habits we were coming out of the holidays with. And this year, guys, this feels like the 13th month of 2020. So people, even though January usually is like up and going right onto the resolutions, from the conversations I'm having, people are still slow to moving to that. And that's an opportunity I don't want you to forget to offer to people to get started with. But that's all I had.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, if you guys are sending challenge pack share cards, something like that is really simple to just add it on, even if you don't talk about it with someone, and just say like, hey, I added on this other thing. I really love it. I know we talked about nutrition. You can take it out, you could keep it, but just a suggestion. I think about every challenge pack I send out as like another opportunity to show them something else that we have that they might not know about. Energize is another one I always add on pretty much. So just a little reminder to you guys to like upsell your stuff and not be bashful on like our stuff is really affordable. People just have to understand the value. So any other announcements? All right.
We'll have more info on the next one about kind of plans for February, including Diamond Dash and all of that. But let's finish the month strong first, right?
Yep. All right.
So I was gonna have you go first because I know you've seen my list. But so basically the way this call came up, I know we had something originally different on the calendar. We do love to give you guys a heads up on the calls so that you can plan and all of that. But the reality is, as both of us and several other coaches were talking with their teams, there was this overwhelming kind of pattern of people feeling a disconnect or lack of confidence with conversations, with having enough of them to continue to invite. And you'll hear it several times if you haven't heard already. This business is a numbers game. And so it does matter that you are continuing to reach outside of your network and grow. But one thing that we are all really passionate about on this team is that you do that in a way that's genuine to you and with interests that you relate to. Like, you definitely want to be talking to your people because that's going to continue to make this business fun. And so we're going to open up this floor for several people who feel that they have more confidence in this area and share with you guys that we are doing this all a little bit different. So there's not a one size fits all, but this is going to be a bit of a active opportunity to say, hey, if you're learning about a new feature on Instagram, pull out your phone and figure it out right in the moment. This is definitely something where you want to be able to apply right after this call going into, a power hour. So Danielle, I'm going to put you on the spot first. I know you mentioned geotags. I don't know if that's where you want to start, but I was like, I don't even know what that is.
Okay, so this call is basically about finding new people, right? Because I think one of the biggest struggles I often hear from my new coaches is like, maybe you're scared to ask your friends and family because whatever, you have this preconception in your mind. And so how do you find people that you want to work with? And I'll say for my business personally, 99% of the people I sign up are either someone I've never met before in my entire life. They're literally from Instagram, or it's like going back to a previous challenger that's re-enrolling, just to give you kind of like a background, because I've been around the block and I'm a grandma. So I have found that I've used hashtags somewhat, but what works best for me, and this is something you guys have to think about before we do this activity, is where do you want to build your team? And you might be thinking like, what do you mean where? Well, for me, I want to be doing local team get-togethers. I want to be doing local team workouts. Obviously, COVID puts a little bit of a different strain on this, but I'm saying in normal life, I want to build locally in Philly. And this is the same mindset I had when I lived in Atlanta. So what did I do? I started brain dumping a list of tons of places I love, and I'm going to show you guys that in a second, that I want you to make a list of places. So I'm going to share my screen and just like give you an idea. Now, most of you might not even know what these places are, but it will start piquing your mind. Okay. So if you have a pen and paper, I want you to make a list of wedding venues you've been to. What awesome venues are around you? What has an awesome view? Typically women our age go to wedding venues, right? Like that's where we usually go and drink. We have fun. Our friends are getting married. So you're going to find a lot of people that are probably similar vibe to you when you pick wedding venues that you normally go to. Second thing that I love is wineries. And maybe you like beer. So breweries is more your thing. So start brain dumping. Somebody is unmuted. Sarah. Start making a list of wineries you like to go to. And it doesn't have to, like, okay, so Allie lives in Virginia, but maybe she's been to a great winery in North Carolina. Like, it still applies. You don't have to like do all places right by you, but this is just like a starting point for you guys. Third thing is like gardens around you. We're in COVID, so people are going hiking, they're going to parks, they're going to trails, they're going to mountains. What are some places you've been to? Same thing with state parks. You can see I started doing that. And then I won't go too much into this. I'm going to give you guys a list. Like this is just my brain dump to get you guys started. Bars and restaurants you like. I live in the city, so there's a lot of them. And I know if I'm picking like high price bars and restaurants, you're going to get somebody that's willing to spend money, right? You're going to get somebody who's willing to invest in what they're eating and drinking and going out and doing things I like to do. So most likely they're going to be very similar to you. So what we're going to do is get out our phone now that you have a list, and you're going to go to, in this Instagram, you're going to go to the search button, the bottom left, to in from the left. If you don't have an iPhone, I don't know. I would assume it's the same. Sorry, you can correct me. And I want you to go to places at the top, and then you're going to type in one of the places that you wrote down as you just brain dumped. All right, so I picked a park in Philly, and then I go to recent. So you can see under the map, it says top and recent. I go to recent. Why? Because I want people that are recently going to the place. Now, depending on the spot, you could say go to top posts because those are the posts that are going to get the most likes and comments. And if you think about it, if someone has a really high post, that means they already have a presence on social media, which means I wouldn't need to train them to want to post on social media, which is like half the battle for new coaches, right? So you could go through top posts. You just kind of have to be wary of what location you're putting in. Like if I'm putting in, I don't know, City Hall top posts in Philly, like it might not align to the people that I want to work with. But the reason I like doing this, and then what I'll do as part of my power hour is I'll scroll through the pictures and okay, this girl looks cute. I would hang out with her. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go to her page and I'm going to like 5 of her photos. I'm going to leave a comment or 2 that's genuine, and I'm going to follow her. So find someone real fast. Don't overthink it. Just look at her. Would I be friends with her? Would I want to work with her? If the answer is yes, go through, like, and comment. One of the things I will say that I quickly kind of scan is in their bio at the top. If they have links to like Roden Fields or Mary Kay or something like that, I probably might not make the effort to do this because they're already invested in another business, and that's just me because I want to work with coaches. But this is what I do for my power hour. So when we talk about friend making, like this is literally what I'm sitting there. I'm not scrolling on Instagram. And I like this way because everybody that has a photo that shows up in the geotag is public already. So again, thinking about, okay, I want to build a team. I want to have coaches. They're already publicly posting. That's like such a big weight off your shoulder to teach. And definitely like I'm looking at the quality of their photo. Don't have to teach that if it's good. So some days I will admit I'll go through and I find like 2 people, right? But other days I'll go through and find 20. So this is why it's important for you to set a standard for yourself. Like, okay, Monday through Friday, I'm going to find 5 new people and track it. So like maybe on Monday you only find 2 people. So you know on Tuesday you got to find 8, you know what I mean? Or whatever makes it to the end of the week so that you always know, all right, I'm having at least 25 new eyes on my page every week. And then most of the time, I'd say 20% of the people, what do? They're like, wow, this girl's like liking my photos. She's commenting on my stuff. What is she about? They're going to go to my page and see that I'm consistent, that I'm showing up, that I'm part of something awesome, and they're most likely going to follow me back. And what happens then is I send them a message. Okay. You got to like be that friend maker and do that follow up. And I just share a little bit about me. I'm like, hey, I'm in Philly, love connecting with awesome women. What's going on for you this week? Or what do you do for work? Or whatever you guys want it to be. But this is my simple friend making process. I would say it probably takes the most time out of my power hour, but it is the most valuable. And it is the way I have found a lot of people that would have never found me on their own. So I'm purposely searching out people that I want to work with, that look cool, and that are already sharing. So half the battle is kind of open to them being a possible coach in the future. Any questions? Was that helpful?
So I just want to add something too that I started doing. So like I went to Asheville a few years ago and I made a list of like all the places we like to going, et cetera, et cetera. And I actually look at those places too. So it doesn't have to be just where you live or just your area. It can be anywhere. So like I thought about doing it for Austin because I went to Austin right before COVID started and have a whole list of places that I've been, but it doesn't matter. You can do it wherever. You can choose a random city if you want. I mean, it's wherever, like Danielle said, where you want to grow your business.
Yeah, totally. And I totally do that too, because I've lived in a lot of different places. So I'm not saying I just have to find people in Philly, but I would definitely recommend making a list, because there's some days where I'm like, I don't know where to search. I'm boring. I don't go anywhere. So like having a Google Doc where you just like brain dump makes it super easy. Like when you're watching TV or something, this is a great activity to do that's kind of mindless. So that's how I find my people.
I'll do like one thing about what I do, and then we can kind of do a strategy each on connecting with the people who are already interacting with your page, right? So instead of places, I think about pages that I watch. When I go and I do my guilty scrolling, whose Instagram pages am I watching the stories? Whose updates am I looking at? And also, I think about what are the sponsored ads that I see? Because they're already using a formula to find me. And if they're finding me, they're probably finding similar people. So one of the most recent things for my life right now is that I'm a bride to be. I'm in the thick of wedding planning. We're down to 9.5 months or something like that. And it's something that I'm posting about and that I can relate to and talk to other women about. So one thing, just because I'm always talking about wedding stuff, that was on my sponsored ads is this thing called Ringbox. It's essentially a FabFitFun box for brides on a monthly basis with curated content for them to enjoy throughout their engagement. Okay, I personally haven't bought the box, but that's been my talking point for people. So I will go to their page, and this could be something where ideas for you that you could pull up. Maybe it's like a blogger that you watch. And the one tip I would say to this is find the accounts that are like less than 100,000. Once they get over that, like you're going to end up with spammy things, a lot of international possibly, and it gets a little bit more difficult maybe to find your person. So other things could be boutiques. They are still like a place, but I'm following like their Instagram, right? Where they're constantly updating new workouts or like new clothes, workout clothes from a certain boutique that I buy. All right, if you guys have something in mind, go to that page. So for me, if you don't have one, off the top of your head, feel free to walk through with me Ringbox. So I think the Instagram is The Ring Boxes, which is XES, by the way. So The Ring Boxes, their Instagram actually continues to grow. When they found me as a sponsored ad, it was like 40,000. They're at 64,000 so far. So I know that they're continually targeting, and this is actually one of the hottest places that I go right now to continue to find new people. So I'll do 3 different things, and they each have like their own level of work and detail that goes into it. So the first one is I'll go through their Instagram stories. they are constantly highlighting people who are tagging them. And like Danielle said, these are people who are actively using Instagram, which means they're more likely to respond to me. And if coaching is an opportunity for them, they're going to be more comfortable right off the bat. So when I'm going through there, I'll see people who are tagged in it. I'll do the same thing. I'll click on the story that they were featured in, go to their page, quickly look at their profile the same way Danielle did. I'll follow them, and then I'll send them a message. And one thing I want to say about sending messages is I have quick replies. If you don't know what that is, post that in the chat. We will absolutely make a comment to share that with you guys, but I just want to get through the concept first. So I'll send them a message and I'll say the quick reply that I have essentially is copy and paste style. Like, hey, I saw you were featured on the Ring Boxes page. Congratulations. Or like, I'm also a bride to be. Do you think, like, how did you like your box? I've been thinking about it, but I'm unsure. Something super relatable, something super casual, and just giving them a point already to say, like, why I'm contacting them. I'm also a bride to be. Like, don't be scared. I'm not going to spam you, right? So that's how I'll send them first message. Same thing goes for the people who tag them, which hopefully you guys know how to find that. There's the grid viewpoint for Instagram pages, and then there's the it's not going to focus. There's the other option, which is like a people thing, and you can click there and you can see it's an order of recents, and you can see who's tagging them. I'll do the same thing. One thing I do too, though, because I always want new faces in my Instagram feed, is I will go to their feed and I'll look at a picture that speaks to me. So for me, if I look at it right now, the one of the hot air balloon caught my eye right away. So romantic, so cute, outdoorsy in nature. And there's 475 likes. I'll click on that likes and I will literally just scroll through here and follow about 50 people. I don't think twice about it. I don't look at their page. If they're a guy, I'm not following them. If their name is not in English characters, I'm not following them. I have to say that. And then if their profile picture is not a face. So for example, it might be another business. I'm not following that either. But 90% of this are people I'm following. So I'll just go and follow 50 names. What that does for the second half of my connections is when I go back to my newsfeed and refresh it, it's all the new people I'm following. And so that's a really quick way for me to say, I'm going to go through my new people I'm following and just double tap and like or comment if the post speaks to me to all of those new faces. But that's what I do with these pages that relate to me for connecting with new people. Any questions? Sponsored ads? Yeah, girl, they're doing the work for me. So, yep, kid products, teacher, exactly. Like keep the ideas coming, like different things. Maybe there's someone who has like a craft that they started. People are making tie-dye hoodies that came out of quarantine and they have been building their brand. They've got 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 people following them on Instagram. Awesome people. Sarah said your sandwich cutters. Yes, those dinosaurs, like all of these little more niche things that you can speak to right away. Maybe you're following a resin artist, when you've been thinking about using them. Is that helping? These are all different ideas, but
No, I think half the battle is just like we get in our heads like, I don't have anyone to talk to, or I don't know where to search. And like making that brain dump list of the starting point just makes this a lot easier, because what happens is you're like, oh, that girl is really cool and lives, near me or is near a cool place. I almost sometimes go to their page if they tag a lot of places, and I'll go through someone's page and start going through all the places they look and look at their friends. And so it's a great, just like, you just need that starting point, because if you wait to like have no blank, like you have no blank slate and you're super tired and you're really busy, it's not going to be fun, right? Because you're not going to you're like, I don't know where to start. Like, so maybe you take a Sunday and start brain dumping, because I can always come back to this list and be like, oh, I haven't looked at that winery in a while. Who's been there? What are they doing? That sort of thing.
That actually prompts one more thing that I do too. I like to always have one like way of connection that I know is guaranteed with anybody that I'm following on Instagram, right? So if you're just starting as a coach, that's probably people you actually know, right? But if these are people that you don't really know, it's a lot more fun to know you're going into conversation with someone that you are somehow connected with. Either you went to the same restaurant. So outside of what I do here, anytime somebody that I know, call it a sorority sister, goes to a wedding, everyone that they tag in that wedding, I follow. They're one person removed from me. And so it's just like, if I was friends with them or I knew them and they were cool and they're friends with someone else,
Yep.
they might be someone I could connect with, right?
Yep. Totally. Just like can't think about it too much. Like, what are they going to think if they follow me? It's an Instagram follow, guys. What's the worst thing? They're not going to follow you back. Who cares?
I actually, from doing this for 2+ years, because I wasn't as active adding to my network at the beginning of my business, and I regret that. I've had one person message me and was like, I think I had responded to her stories or I had somehow interacted with her more than just a follow. And she was like, excuse me, but how do you, like, not to be rude, but like, how do you know me? And I straight up was like, we probably don't know each other, but I am always looking to expand my network and we likely have some sort of area in common, either a friend or an interest that I found you through. I was completely honest without it being like, she's a creep, you know? Do you guys need us to talk about quick replies? Because this is going to save you a lot of time. Everybody knows what that is.
Oh.
No. Okay. So you might need to tell me if this is different on an Apple. This actually works great. We've got Apple, Android. For me, what I tell people who are just starting this out, pretend to write me an Instagram message. If you screw up, you just sent it to me, so don't worry. Like, you know, so pretend you're sending me an Instagram message or your upline coach, whoever on this call and community right now that you're comfortable with. So I'm gonna send one to Danielle. And in the message bar, you probably have a plus sign. Does it look different for Apple? Plus sign. Okay. In that plus sign, one of the icons is like a speech bubble with dots, right?
Well,
Is it?
Jess, you got to back up for a second.
Why?
Because you guys might not have this if your page is not a business page. So,
Oh, good point. Okay, you should talk about that.
So a lot of people are scared to make their pages public. And I think that's a BS insecurity with yourself. Sorry, just calling it out, because everything we do is awesome. So why would you want to limit who it's shown to, right? Like, you make the rules, you get to decide what you share. So like, I don't know, in just my opinion, I want to expose myself to anybody that I could connect with. And so you can Google it, but you just got to make your Instagram page a business page to have access to this tool. As far as I know, someone could correct me if I'm wrong. So like literally you just make a Facebook business page, you connect them, and you'll have access to this. And it is a lifesaver, because what Jess is saying is she saves these individual messages we're talking about, like, hey, blah, 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 I'm Danielle, I'm from here. What do you think about this? I save my sample invite for the month that is different every month. I save my follow-up message that I use on follow-up Fridays. I save what is a challenge group and explain it, because I'm not copy pasting it, and that's annoying to go from app to app. I save a free group invite that I'm doing for the month. I save the Shakeology link if I'm sending that. I save what is 9-week control freak, like a little blurb that I've made. So when I get these, like, you have to think about, what are the questions I get over and over again? What is a challenge group? Tell me more. What is 9-week control freak or that program? Tell me more. What is your team? Tell me more. What is that nutrition program doing? Tell me more. So you can literally make the response to all of these questions and save it in these quick replies. And so basically I just save it. So like for a 9-week, all I do is I type 9W and I have this whole message come up with the video about the program and a little bit about it, and then asking them to tell me what they like best about it. and I'm not thinking about it, like I just know it's in my quick reply there all the time. So it just makes follow-ups really freaking easy. It makes invites really freaking easy. It's not emotionally connected. So I'm not like, ooh, should I say this or not say this or whatever? Like, no, I have taken every Sunday to think about, okay, what quick replies do I need? What do I not need? And you can have, I think, up to 20 in there. So
It's something around there. It'll limit you, but that should be plenty.
yeah, so you just have to know, like, what are the things I'm constantly sharing and grabbing from somewhere else? Stop doing that and put it in your quick reply and make it a genuine response that you would actually say, along with a third party tool. That's usually what most of my messages back and forth are, because we're part of a company that makes incredible videos. So if you guys are typing out paragraphs explaining what is Shakeology, stop doing that and use the video.
Movie mindset, ultimate portion
Yeah,
fit.
you stop saying so many words, because people are never going to read that, and it just looks like, you guys know, and you get a big message and it's all this text. Nobody wants that. They want, what is it? Here's a 1-minute video. All right, how do you feel about it? Voice messages them back and be honest and share your emotion and be excited to share with them. You know, those sorts of things make the time from invite or adding to, I want to work with this girl, send me a challenge pack, a lot quicker. Anything else on quick replies?
So I use, and I guess this kind of is a lead into like interacting with the people who are following you. I also have a whole bunch of quick replies for my connecting with my current followers. I got a new follow. I'll send an immediate quick reply. Hey, thanks so much for the follow. I think I have 2 different styles of them. It was like, I had one that I titled COVID. That's the only thing. You have to get a little creative with the titles because you can't put spaces, you can't put special characters. So your word needs to be something that like triggers what it is for you and not just like A, B, C, D, E. But I'll do new followers. And what we can do if you guys are, I have a feeling you guys are going to say yes, we can work together once Danielle walks in Success Club to give you a list of some of the scripts that we use to make your own. But just also right now, I'm going to prompt your ideas with things. So new followers, new story viewers, people who liked a transformation post. Transformation posts are like every 9 Instagram posts for me. I try to keep it at that ratio, and they are immediate invitations. If you are liking my transformation post, you have given me permission to invite you directly without some other conversation. That's just personally how I feel. So I have a direct off of transformation post invite. And then I have a follow-up for stories. So stories continued is what I call it. People who continue to watch my stories. And I just want to tell them I appreciate the support and maybe ask them a question like, do you have anything exciting coming up in the next few weeks, like something to celebrate, anything, right? But those are additional things that I use quick replies for.
Yeah, so just out of curiosity, do you guys individually message different messages to every person? Or do you grab messages from somewhere else, like a note section in your phone? Or what are you primarily doing for your messaging?
So I have a like pretty much a template, but I just customize it to the person. Like if they're a mom, what they're like, put their name in there and make it more personable. But I don't, the majority of it, I don't type out every time. So I can send 10 messages in 15 minutes, probably, if not more.
Saved in a note.
Yeah, I have it in a Google Doc, like a Google Sheet, so I can access it from my computer or my phone.
Yeah, so I think Noelle said notes and Catherine said I have things saved in a note that I'll copy paste. You guys can like think about it. You're taking out a middleman app and putting it right into your Instagram ready to go.
And it's not like it sends the wording for you. It just populates the message box. So you can add those small personal things that I know we do too, where you want to say their name or a lot of times after the follow, because I will have stopped them, I'll say, P.S. Your dog is so freaking cute. What breed is he or she? Hey, I saw you're a bride. How's wedding planning going? I will put something in the P.S. to make it more personal, but I only had to type a sentence, you know?
So I did that Shailene IG training back in like November. And I had no idea about this feature, so I'm definitely going to switch everything from notes to that because you're using Instagram's like tool as they want you to. But one of the other things, just because I'm looking at the comments, she and her son, who like have a ton of different pages to do like research on Instagram, said if you're only copying and pasting and not adding like anything else in there for your own flair, that's more than like a word. So just changing the name isn't going to be good. Instagram kind of sees that, and Instagram can tell when you're just copying and pasting, and then they essentially treat your account like a bot. So they're not going to help grow you because you're just kind of cheating. So it is really, really important that you do add the extra stuff and take a look at their pages and see what else you can add to it, or else Instagram's just going to be like, you're just trying to play people. You're not actually trying to get to know them. But just something that I wanted to share with you guys.
That's such a good point, Amanda. And I think that's like so important, probably taking it to the next item on the list, probably Jess might say, is I spend time what I call love bombing every day. So when I put a post up, the 15 minutes after I put the post up, I spend 15 minutes just liking and commenting as a genuine person on posts and interacting on stories. So that kind of takes care of what Amanda is saying, that like I'm doing what the app wants me to. I'm being social on the app and interacting with the people genuinely, like whatever I would want to say is just a friend, Amanda said you can do it before too. Yeah, I think like you guys just have to set the rules for yourself. I think it's always, there's never a right way to do anything. There's always multiple ways to do it. But these are just like part of staying up on technology and using it to your advantage. Is there anything else we wanted to cover? Because I know we're like at 45 minutes almost, Jess.
I'll add one thing really quickly that I also use to connect with my current followers. I stay a lot heavier in stories with my connections. That's where I feel like people get to know more of the true me, just because posts are stagnant and written. So like 90% of my connections with my current followers comes from my stories. And I love using polls, but we are so used to using polls on, hey, I just did these few slides about 9-week control freak. Do you want more info? Sign me up. Those are great to use too, but you're probably not getting a lot of interaction on them. And not that that's a problem. You'll get those 1 or 2 or 3 people, and those are going to be great conversations. But you also want to be able to use these features that Beachbody gives, or not Beachbody, that Instagram gives you to enhance making more connections. So different topics for polls outside of fitness are usually really good. Hey, I'm going to a wedding. Should I wear this romper or this dress? People love to give their opinions. I know Morgan had one about Lululemon because she got a gift card. People were answering that like crazy. I just did one this morning. I'm planning to share a recipe, add value, but instead of just posting one that I wanted, I have 2 ready to go. And I asked people, which recipe do you want me to share this week? I'm getting 40 plus responses to message them and say, hey, I'm so glad you're excited. I'll be posting it tomorrow. Like, come back to my page looking for it. Have you ever made a recipe with these flavors before, right? Or do you have an Instapot or whatever? It gives me an opportunity, and that's a copy and paste to the people that respond for each option, each response option. Nail colors. I mean, I can go on and on. Should I cut my hair short or not? And guys, I don't quite frankly care if you already know the answer to the poll. You're going to go get a mani and you really want this color, put another option on there. Like it is just a way to connect and be genuine. I think one thing too, just a quick tip, and then I'll shut up and I want to have other people talk to and ask questions, is if you're struggling with what to say in these quick replies and these things where we keep saying, stay true to yourself, say it out loud. If you're tripping up on your own words that you wrote, it's probably not you. So if you were recording it voice to text and then just fix the typos, or you wrote it and you want to say it back out loud to yourself, that's a really quick and easy way to go, does this feel right?
So good. And that goes for any of the features when you guys swipe up and see polls or quiz. I like to do quizzes because it gives you more than two options, or asking questions to get feedback. Like any of those tools, like Amanda was saying, Instagram wants you to use the things that they put, like with the GIF and with music and that sort of stuff, not to go like overboard because, simple is good, but just like another tip, the more you guys use stuff, the more Instagram likes that. So what other questions do you guys have? Was this helpful? I know we threw a lot at you, but
And I want to let Emily talk too if she's open to it to share. She said she's sent the most invites she ever has, which is true. In like the last few days, what have you been doing to send those new connections to people?
All of the things that you guys just said. I definitely went out of like my way to watch like videos of people doing these things, like doing the polls and then doing the quick replies to them, like having something, because like I used to sit there and be like, oh, they responded to me, and then it would take me like 30 minutes to respond to like 5 people. And also I looked up like what Instagram wants you to see. And so when I started doing those things, I'm like shocked at the people that like, I'm like, oh, no one wants to talk to me. And then I'm like, people actually want to talk on there. And so once I started seeing that, I was like, oh, the worst they can do is not answer me. So yeah, I've been doing all those things, the geotags, the quick replies, adding more to that, commenting, like just even something quick, like Instagram just wants to see that you're interacting. And this week, like this is the week that like I wasn't doing any of this before this week, and already it's just, yeah, I'm like, oh, now I get why people can send out 100 invites. Like if I can send 15 invites tomorrow, like in no time it'll get to that level. So thank you guys for this and for pushing us always. It works.
I love that confidence too. It's just amazing. Does anybody else have something to add? I mean, like we said at the beginning, there are so many different ways. And this is what we've just found that works for us in our businesses. Or if you have questions, but we always don't like dragging this on if we don't need to. Everybody's time's important. Anything else? Amanda, anything else from you to share? Morgan, anything? You've been quiet.
No, I think you guys covered it all.
I think like place wise, to kind of take it back to the top with Danielle, small cafes, small boutiques, all those places, they're small for a reason, but they're small with tight knit networks, people who truly support them. So if there are places that you guys like too, and you're part of that tight knit group that supports those places, especially right now, those are your people, or there are like your people within that group for you to find. I've been doing that with a lot of like little boutiques, because then it also means those people have my same style or my same taste, and it's the same thing for you guys. So just get out of your head, enjoy the places that you like, and meet the people that you would meet there if we were actually able to go there.
so true, Amanda. I was actually going to say 2 of my like really good friends that I have been able to like see still during the pandemic because they live close to me and I take walks with them, I found through doing this process. And neither of them have ever signed up with Beachbody, and I don't care about that because you never know what life brings them. But I think it really is a test to like you can find real freaking friends. And actually in the fall, someone came up to me at Target and she was like, "Are you Danielle, Glow Digger?" And I was just like, wow, okay. She's like, "Yeah, I knew from your Lily Pulitzer pants." So now we're, again, somebody else who lives down the street from me, and like I will take a walk with her one day because we just have a lot of common. She follows me. So go in with the intention of all these activities of I don't care if they're going to sign up with me or not. You just never know what a true friendship you can build. And it sounds so silly, but it's gotten me through the pandemic, and I'm super grateful for those like deep, meaningful friendships that really support me. So figured I'd add that. I promise you I'm not an influencer, and I was like, and my target's small. It's not like a big one. So it was just like weird, funny timing. Anyways. All right, guys. Thank you for being here. I hope this was helpful. Go make some friends this week, right? Go spread the love because our world definitely needs it. So I will see you guys on Zoom tomorrow. Bye, guys.